Welcome to Kit Catastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Cybertron Deluxe Class LANDMINE. This figure came out in 2005 as part of Wave 1 of the Deluxe assortment. Canonically, this LANDMINE had very little to do with the LANDMINE from Energon, and might as well have been a new character, with Galaxy Force being a separate continuity from Superlink and all. But Hasbro wanted the Unicron trilogy to be, well, a trilogy, so Cybertron was forced to fit into the same continuity as Armada and Energon. In Japan, this LANDMINE really was a separate character named Guard Shell, but apparently he shared enough similarities with the Energon dude, so in America he was stuck with the name LANDMINE. That being said, LANDMINE turns into a wicked yellow front loader. This thing is 1000% chunk, and I am really loving it. I have a lot of nostalgia for this figure, and every time I pick it up, I get a sense of childlike glee at this heavy and solid vehicle mode. The sculpted detail really helps to give a sense of scale to this figure, with the molded ladder on either side juxtaposed with the huge-ass tires. The central cab section is adequately molded and painted, with many details being picked out, but I just have to question how a driver is supposed to get inside when the entrance is blocked by LANDMINE's shoulders. Speaking of shoulders, they're connected to a wonderfully painted front scoop, with some nice silver weathering on the teeth. A LANDMINE tradition at this point, apparently. The bucket itself is jointed. One joint raises the entire assembly, and the other moves the scoop, though the latter's range of movement is lacking. LANDMINE comes with one real accessory, a pile driver thing. I don't really know how it's supposed to work in this mode, to be honest. Removing that, it's time to get all Cyber Key powered up. Simply bring out the panels the rear wheels are connected to, plug in the Earth Planet Key to each wheel, and twist it to reveal hidden blades. This is remarkable to me, considering it's one of the few Planet Key gimmicks that isn't spring-loaded. For even more fun, a series of wheels inside the assembly cause both wheels to spin when you spin one manually. Transformation into robot mode is pretty damn fun, though strangely graceful for such a tough character. Cybertron LANDMINE's conversion scheme, fittingly enough, feels a lot more solid than the Energon versions. Given the chunky and blocky nature of both modes, it's fairly obvious. One complaint I do have is that the assembly the rear wheels are attached to is pretty floppy and can get really annoying to deal with for the 0.5 seconds you have to deal with it. Thankfully, it doesn't impede any other part of the transformation. LANDMINE's robot mode is absolutely stunning. This is exactly the right kind of robot mode I expect to unfurl from a front loader. Sorry, Scrapper. The monolithic lower legs, the scoop becoming armor, and the overall proportions really make this guy look super tough. I especially love the way the smokestacks fold back on the collar, and the head sculpt is really nicely sculpted and painted, and is more than a little reminiscent of the Energon characters. While probably unintentional, it's fitting enough. Going back to the arms for a second, the vehicle mode scoop forms a pair of huge-ass bucklers for both arms, and they look really imposing. No wonder he was named Guard Shell in Japan. If you want, you could potentially fold away his hands and weaponize them and get some delightful poses out of him. Speaking of posing, LANDMINE is adequate in that regard. He's absolutely loaded with ball joints in his arms and hips. The legs have a swivel, but it's under the knee instead of above it, and that really limits posing options. This means that while he can get a natural stance when his legs are straight, any pose with his knees bent is going to be compromised. Like his Energon version, you'll have to work for any good poses. LANDMINE's pile driver accessory is more recognizably a gun, with a more powerful spring-loaded missile than the Energon mold had. The gun itself looks pretty cool, and has a cleverly hidden trigger. His Cyber Planet Key gimmick still works in this mode, of course, and can be deployed behind his head. LANDMINE is one of my favorite figures from the Cybertron line, and is a nice contender for Best Deluxe. I swear, that's not just the nostalgia talking. The vehicle mode is awesome, the robot mode is great, and the gimmick is fun and unique, and the accessory works well. I swear, if he had a proper thigh swivel and maybe a ball-jointed head, I'd call LANDMINE a damn near perfect figure. As it is, he's damn near perfect. But that still means he's definitely worth the pickup. Though, now that I mention it, there was one deluxe that still managed to outshine him. but we'll get to him very soon. This has been Kit Katastrophe. It's time for me to transform and roll out.